when these projects happen. So there's always disturbance in the material world, and the same was the case even when Krishna was in Vrindavan. Kamsa was sending various friends of his to try to suppress Krishna. And so this demon, the Bakasura demon, of course the demon is not actually a duck, but he can assume the form of a duck. It's a very significant difference. These demons came in various guises. How exactly? It's an extraordinary scene. The Krishna and Balaram, together with the cowherd boys and their calves, they've gone down to a lake so that the cows can drink. And suddenly they notice there this gigantic creature, and the Bhagavatam describes Vajra Nirbinnam Giri, just like Giri is a mountain. So the Giri Shringam means the peak of a mountain. And just like a peak of a mountain broken by Vajra. Vajra means a thunderbolt. So broken off by a thunderbolt and has fallen there on the ground. Amazing description. That's, if you could somehow imagine that a thunderbolt struck the top of the mountain and the top of the mountain was shorn off and landed beside the lake in the middle of the forest. It gives us an idea. In other words, you'd be released. It's like a meteorite just came out of space and crashed beside this placid lake. So it gives you an idea what a shock it must have been. That's what this is portraying. An extraordinary shock, very frightening, actually. This great creature. I think the word duck probably doesn't really do it justice, because the only ducks we know about are swimming in Regent's Park Lake, and they're pretty harmless. But this is some vast flying creature. As I say, in another edition, I've seen this I think Bhaktivinoda wrote about the demons, the various demons who attack Krishna, and one of the Gaudiya must have translated as a stork. Vrindavan is full of storks and cranes, and the cranes in particular, there's some quite rare cranes that winter, or I don't know if they winter or they summer, probably winter in Vrindavan. And sometimes you catch sight of them, they don't come anywhere near the town, but if you're out in the countryside of Braj, especially I've noticed near dusk, which is not always a wise thing to be out in the countryside of Braj near dusk, because it gets quite lawless after dark. You're not advised to be out after dark between the villages. But if you are, in the sort of fading light, you might see these large, almost human-sized forms, and they're standing in the kind of waterlogged areas. There's quite a lot of waterlogging around Vrindavan, and it happens when the groundwater rises above the ground level, and so it just gets waterlogged. And sometimes it stays like that for a long time. Nothing grows on those areas, but the birds love it. So there's a lot of bird life there. And these particular cranes, they're called Siberian cranes. There's probably several different kinds, but one of them is the Siberian crane. And they stand about 4 or 5 feet high. They are big. And they stand sort of hunched. You know how a crane, if it's standing up full, the legs are quite spindly, but there's this big hunched body, and the head is down with a long beak. And if you were to see one of those, you know, at dusk, it could be quite a scary thing to see, actually, because they're big. And if they decided to, with those long, sharp beaks, they could do you serious harm, no question. So perhaps that gives some idea of what this Bahudak, or Bakasura demon might have been like. If we imagine some colossal creature with a very long, sharp beak. So they're full of fear, actually. Even though they're in the company of Krishna, they're fearful. And we know that because the Bhagavatam says, Sahasa Krishnam Tikshna Tunda Agrasat. All Sahasa means all of a sudden this creature swallowed Krishna. Just like that. You know, for 1 minute they're there bringing their calves to water, the next minute they suddenly notice this great thing has appeared, and within a flash it swallowed Krishna in its enormous beak. And then the Bhagavatam says that Krishna Mahabhaka Grastam, Krishna having been swallowed by the duck, Ramadaya Arbaka, all the boys headed by Rama, and Rama here means Balaram. Babuhu, they were overwhelmed and became exactly like the senses without life. In other words, they were stunned, including Balaram. And so this is what Prabhupada comments on here. He says that although Balaram can do everything, because of intense affection for Krishna, he was, momentarily, he was bewildered. He was shocked, and there is this moment of fear and confusion. Little similar to, Prabhupada says here, to when Krishna kidnapped Rukmini. Rukmini Harana is the name he gives for this pastime of the kidnapping of Rukmini. So that story is in the Krishna book, which I happen to have here. This is the original first edition Krishna book, slightly the worse for wear. It would be in better shape if it hadn't been for the fact that it's very attractive to children. And you know, you have to have if you have small children in the house and there's a Krishna book, you have to be very careful. I discovered to my cost. So in the Krishna book, there is there's a chapter actually which immediately, I think it drew my attention the very first time we had it in the early days when I joined the temple in 1970. We had only 2 or 3 books. We had the little blue abridged Bhagavad Gita. I don't know if any of you have seen that. It was only about a third the length of this Bhagavad Gita. It was the verse translations. And then, roughly a third of the purports had been put in. It wasn't Prabhupada's particular wish, but it was the way that Macmillan agreed to publish the book. You know, they published it. They felt it would be too difficult to sell the unabridged Gita, so they had an abridged one.